Welcome back to another episode of Necessary Roughness. With me, my co-host as always, we got Nick, Keebler, and Trevor.
Hello, boys.
Fellas, Nick, Keebler, how are you guys doing? I'm going to ask you guys first. I feel like this is just about to be an hour-long victory lap for our resident Kansas City Chief fan. How you guys doing tonight?
Pretty good, man.
I'm doing pretty solid. It's been a good day so far.
Give myself some respect for being here.
Yep, give mad respect.
After all that season, we're still here, man. We're not shying away from it.
We don't hide from it. We're here. Trev, congratulations! You're 2024 Super Bowl champs, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Let's go.
Stupid banner.
Gotta get another flag next year.
Yeah, you gotta get another flag, don't you?
We'll add to it. Jeff already apologizing. I appreciate that.
Yep.
Dude, we're in celebration mode. Before the show, we were talking about the parades tomorrow. Everybody's off of work. I've got my lucky koozie that I started utilizing week 17. The Chiefs never lost after that. Mm-hmm. So shout out to my sister-in-law for getting me that for Christmas. All right. Maybe all the glory to her this year. I don't know, but dude, we're freaking pumped here. We're celebrating already. Been celebrating since Sunday night. Fireworks galore. It was like the 4th of July here in Kansas City.
I've also been celebrating since Sunday night because I had an absurd amount of money on the Chiefs.
There you go. That's what I like to hear.
There you go.
The bank account wasn't too mad either afterwards, but yeah, it was a hell of a game. I'm actually really excited to talk about the game itself a little bit because there were some very key moments and definitely some times where I thought it was over. Like I thought it was done. Oh, I don't owe Jeff an apology for shit.
Yeah, on the game front, it was very weird. Just personal opinion, I thought it sucked in the first half. Just boring as shit. Zoomed by. The Chiefs didn't look like they knew what they were doing in the first half.
Well, it looked like it was the mid-season, right? It looked like they had reverted back to the Raider loss at home Chiefs, the Eagle loss at home Chiefs, like the Patriots game where you didn't play, you won the game, but you didn't play as well as you wanted to, had some turnovers where Patrick was all pissed. I was watching it and I looked over and told my dad, I was like, they look like they reverted back to and this is going to be interesting if they kind of have a full circle moment here. If they do like what they did early in the year, and then they also do what they did at the end of the year, and then they win, which they did do. But in the moment, I was afraid that they were just going to kind of fall on their face and just have a complete meltdown game in the Super Bowl. But obviously, they prevailed. So, yeah, I think that a lot of that had to do with that first boring half. I think that had to do with the Chiefs kind of reverting a little bit. But then, as good teams do, they were able to prevail.
I saw a graphic during the game at halftime when it was like, oh, Patrick Mahomes is 8-2 in his playoff career when trailing by 7 or more points in a playoff game. And then I said to my boy, I was like, I'm going to double down. He was like, no, it's about to be 8-3. I was like, no, it's going to be 9-2. So I doubled down on the Chiefs after I saw that.
Yep.
Smart man. Trev, any comments on that ugly first half?
It was ugly. I think that I took it as, yes, it was boring. Let's be honest, 10-3 and a lot of nothing, no fireworks. But I kind of just felt like they were trying to feel it out a little bit. The run game wasn't happening like they expected it to happen. The 49ers defensive line came out absolutely hot. I mean, they played out of their minds. And I think that kind of threw off the Chiefs' rhythm early on. But same on the other side, right? The 49ers couldn't really do a lot. Christian McCaffrey and Isaiah Pacheco both have a fumble inside their own 40s. I think McCaffrey was around 135 and Pacheco was in the red zone. So that's two, obviously scoring opportunities that were were killed early on in the game. So both teams were kind of, it's the Super Bowl. You're feeling each other out a little bit, and you're not going to have necessarily all the fireworks in the first half, but it was a little slow, a little boring, a little frustrating from a Chiefs standpoint, from a fan standpoint. Luckily, the second half had a little bit more fireworks.
Yep.
I don't think anyone had on their Super Bowl bingo card 0-0 after the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't surprising how the game was going. I was like, you know what? This might be 0-0. And Trevor, you're completely right. They were just feeling themselves out. They were like, it's a big game, right? Obviously, it's the biggest game. So you don't want to make too many mistakes. And I think that neither team was making any mistakes. Obviously, the McCaffrey fumble it's a mistake, but it's also a good defensive play. It's always weird to look at that as a mistake when the defense, shows up. So that was a little uncharacteristic. And then, Kansas City had a turn on themselves later in the game with the pick, and also Pacheco had a fumble. So it wasn't a clean game. It wasn't like a perfectly played game, but yeah, just in the beginning stages, they were just feeling each other, as Trev said.
The McCaffrey fumble was the one that caught me off guard a lot. I think that's his third fumble this year, but like the previous 6 years, he's had under that. So for him to fumble on the first drive, then moving such a critical time, like could have easily gone up 7-0.
Yep.
I think the name of the game for me was missed opportunities for San Francisco. At the beginning of the third quarter, San Francisco had multiple opportunities to go up 17-3 and never got it done. Nick mentioned Mahomes' interception. They then 3-and-outed it themselves, and then turn around, got the ball back, had another chance, another 3-and-out, I'm pretty sure. That early third quarter is what changed the complexity of the game for me. It cost the Niners the game is what happened, because they let Mahomes and Kelsey remember who the fuck they were.
Right. You got to take it away from Mahomes and Kelsey, and you got to take that. You got to take their opportunity away from them. But if you allow a team like that to linger and stay alive, then they're going to kill you, and that's exactly what happened.
Chiefs also had a lot of momentum killers for them with 5 fumbles. They only lost 1, thankfully, but to see Pacheco
5 fumbles.
Yeah.
Shit.
Well, they only
What
lost.
were your thoughts on that? On the early third quarter?
You knew the Chiefs are going to make adjustments. Every team's going to make adjustments at halftime. Let's not be like the Chiefs are the only team. But offensively, they were going to make adjustments, and they had found some things that were working. But the one thing I don't know what his first half stats were. Obviously, that even taking away the overtime drive, which was 20 some yards rushing, Mahomes put up 30 yards in the second half itself rushing. They started utilizing that a little bit more. They started utilizing those short passes. Jeff obviously wants to make sure I remember that I said Rashi doesn't get handed the ball ever. He had 2 rushing attempts the entire season. It's just not something they do. But they started finding those ways. They gave him the ball twice actually in this game. So they just started utilizing their talented players around the line of scrimmage a little bit more, and less trying to push the ball down the field, which I felt like was what they were really starting to do. But that defensive line just wouldn't allow them to push the ball down the field. So they made that adjustment early on in the third quarter. But when it comes down to talking about San Francisco capitalizing, got to give kudos to that defense. They stepped up over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime San Francisco had the opportunity to put the hammer down, including the opportunity to win the game at the end of the game, that defense stepped up. Chris Jones it's going to be an interesting offseason, because that dude absolutely showed up and was about 3 inches away from being the MVP. I felt like, because time and time again, he was in Purdy's chest and just not quite finishing the sack before Purdy could get the ball away. He was so close to, I thought, to potentially being the MVP of that Super Bowl.
It's been the name of the game for them all season, really, though, is their defense. It's kind of people want to, think Kelsey and Mahomes, et cetera, it always is them, but their defense is what's carried them all year.
Yeah.
They put a lot of money into that defense and a lot of draft picks in that defense. You talk about Chris Jones, there's Darius Sneed. Obviously, you know them better than I do. They're good. The other is McDuffie's the other cornerback.
Trading Tyreek and building up the defense is probably one of the smartest things that they could have done, probably.
Yeah, since the Tyreek Hill trade, they've won 2 Super Bowls, and Tyreek Hill has made the playoffs.
They haven't lost the playoff.
Mm-hmm.
They got McDuffie with that pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think they also – actually, I think they got Pacheco with one of them, but it's like a later. He was drafted in like the 5th.
5th or 6th round.
The thing about
Go ahead, Nick.
The thing about a team like the Chiefs, right? It's so hard to not excel if you're drafted there. You know what I mean? Like, you have so much talent around you. You're not really asked to do too much. So it's kind of like the Patriots, and I hate, I hate to do it because it's like I feel like it's just like from the Patriots dynasty right to the Chiefs dynasty. But like when you were drafted the Patriots, even if you're not the best player, you still look a lot better than you were at college. And a lot of your college teammates were like, damn, like I didn't know he was that good. Like you might still not be that good, but you look better because you're in this, system and with this franchise. So that's why I'm like saying like with Kadarius Toney, it's all came to my mind. Like the fact that he is still struggling so badly with a team like that, it just shows his true colors to me. But like if you are drafted there in Pacheco, like he could potentially struggle if he was like on a more dysfunctional team and franchise. But the fact that he was, drafted to the Chiefs, they have such a dynamic offense and leader. I feel like that really helped him. And obviously, but that it really helps you like become a star player in the league when you're drafted as such a dynamic team.
Yeah. If he was drafted to the Titans, it'd be a train wreck. Let's just go out and say it.
Like
not anymore, though. Not anymore.
Keely, you can have Kadarius Toney back there in New York if you guys are interested.
I thought it was real generous of the Chiefs to leave the Toon Man off the roster because obviously when he plays in Super Bowls, he wins them. So real nice.
Man, I would say that
Tooney on the bench.
Kansas City fans were very, very happy Sunday morning when I think it was Schefter broke the news that he was not expected to play.
It's disappointing.
We were very happy.
It was just them being nice. They're trying to give the Niners a chance.
I remember
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I remember when the trade happened and all the Chiefs fans were coming at Giants fans and being like, oh, you guys are so stupid. Like, we barely give up anything. But now it's like you have a guy who's not playing the Super Bowl. We won the trade. Like, and it's not even that close.
Yeah, I mean, I was one of those guys. I thought that was awesome. I thought it was a great get. A young player. He's got the speed, athletic ability. He's not working out in New York. Take advantage of the cheapness.
He scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl last year, right? I think.
So
it worked out then.
He had the mega punt return last year.
He did, but I mean, let's be honest. The last 3 Super Bowl touchdowns for Kansas City have been Mecole Hardman, Kadarius Toney, and Sky Moore.
And they were all
elite.
It's not
they were all wide open. Yeah,
they have been all wide open, but it's not the talent of the wide receiver. It's
right.
You could have caught passes. You could have caught that.
That's right. You're damn right. I could have.
Those are some elite wide receivers, bud.
Yeah, it wasn't because of the scheme. Kadarius Toney can always say he caught that touchdown pass, but it wasn't because
anybody in that spot. Anybody could have caught that.
And it's funny because instead of focusing on like trying to get better at football, he's still trying to come at Giants fans for whatever reason. It makes no sense.
Down and work instead of going on Instagram. But that's what
didn't he come out right before it and said his Instagram rant was not about the Chiefs?
It wasn't about the Chiefs.
It wasn't about the Chiefs.
They're about to cut his ass.
Good.
Yeah, he
let him waste away in like Carolina or somewhere.
Yeah.
And
be irrelevant.
He needs to go to the Washington Wizards of the NFL. So Carolina is correct.
Can I just pose something real quick? I see that we've got some good viewership. So I want to know. I see Jeff in the chat, obviously.
Jeff's
I want you all to show yourselves. Who's here tonight? Let us know in the chat. And were you surprised by the Super Bowl? Happy? Are you upset? Are you over the Chiefs? As we talk about it on screen, let us know in the chat too how you're feeling about what's going on with the Chiefs. I want to talk a little bit about the Niners at some point, James, because they're where do they go next? Like they're in a crunch, as it's been widely talked about. But I'm interested to get you guys' takes on what we think the Niners do next, because they are really going to be, they're getting older. Well, like Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle and company, but also they got a salary cap issue, I think.
Mm-hmm. Before we go Niners, let's talk time in the decision the Niners made. It's been hotly debated across the universe. The new overtime rules. Did they not know them? But the question is, on the coin flip, are you guys taking it or you receive it? Are you taking it or receiving?
I can see the vision of what they were going for. I guess Shanahan came out and was basically just like, oh yeah, we wanted the ball third. So in case the 49ers scored and then the Chiefs scored, both assuming that they were both touchdowns, then they can just score to win the game. But like I see the vision, but it's wrong. If I'm a coach, I'm always going to defer it. Especially knowing the overtime rules and knowing that you still get a chance after the touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can just defer it, and then if you really want to put your balls to the wall, just go for the 2-point conversion on the second touchdown. So,
yeah,
I think that was the Chiefs' plan. They said too, if it had to come to that, but I think what the 49ers did was pretty stupid. If they didn't know the overtime rules, that's really, really bad. And yeah, that's my little tidbit on it.
Yeah, I would totally, of course, take the ball second. I would defer, but I gotta get a stat on this or a number on this. Was that the first time? Like we all know that the overtime.
Yes,
that was the first time.
It's the first time the new overtime rules have came into effect since the Chiefs-Bills playoff game 3 years ago. Is that right?
2021. Yeah.
It is the first time. Yes.
Yeah.
Nick actually knows the exact date. And,
yeah, I know
even the time the game ended.
So that game was played in 2021 season. Okay. Yeah. So
so 2 full playoffs with it,
so we
right?
were all like thinking like, oh, that's gonna be so cool. Like we're gonna see like Burrow versus Allen go back to back, touchdown in the overtime. Nobody just, and then it's never happened once until that game.
Yeah.
And dude, you like understand that they didn't get it because it's the first time, but you don't understand because like it's the NFL. How do you not know? How if I know
millions of dollars to do this?
If everybody knows. We it's not that like we only know the rule because like the ref said the rule before. Like that's not like we knew it before. We were like, both teams are gonna get the ball. It's like the overtime rule. We knew that. Like Kyle Juszczyk doesn't know that. Like how? Like you're paying too much attention to your fucking wife right now and her jackets than knowing about the rules of the football game. That's very important. Like I'm sorry, like Kyle Juszczyk, you won life with that wife of yours, but like. Dude, you can't.
One life.
You don't go after the game and go, was that the rule? That man, I guess I didn't know that. You just like, oh man, like yeah, we wanted the ball third. I guarantee that Shanahan also didn't know, but he just he was more macho about it. He was like, no, we just wanted the ball third. We want to finish the game then. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Everybody else would defer in that moment because they know the rules, but you don't know the rules, and that cost them the Super Bowl.
It did. That was the second or third thing that cost them the Super Bowl. But yeah, I remember as soon as it happened, saying out loud,
yeah,
well, that's weird. Why didn't they defer? They're taking the ball first. Like the Chiefs are gonna have a better opportunity here, and obviously that ends up happening. They kick a field goal instead. So once they kick the field goal, technically it doesn't even matter if that what they did. By going first, it kind of didn't matter because if they went first, no matter what, they only kick a field goal.
Well, true, yeah.
But so, whatever. I think it was a wrong call. I don't think the 49ers were prepared for that. I also think that what we've seen from the team and the players since then is very eye-opening for Kyle Shanahan as a coach. For multiple players to come out and say blatantly, we didn't talk about this. We didn't know what the rule was. We weren't prepared for overtime. To Nick's point, y'all, this is your livelihood. You're making millions of dollars to do this. You have to know those rules. And the players should know them, but it's on the coaching staff to make sure it is a part of the preparation each and every week. This is for 2 years, and the 49ers went to the NFC Championship game last year. It's not like it was only a Super Bowl rule. It's a playoffs rule. So you have now played 5 playoff games, and you're saying that you never prepared for this? That is a Kyle Shanahan issue. Not like he's going to get fired by any means by it.
No.
But dude, that's an issue, and you have to prepare your players for every single situation, or you're not going to win the big game or the biggest games, because he wins a lot of big games, as he said in a press conference. They had to win a lot of big games, but you're not going to win the Super Bowl if you're not preparing for that level and with that much detail. And Andy Reid's doing that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Chiefs players came out and were like, yeah, we've had weekly presentations on this. Like we've gone over it so many times that everyone knew what it was. So like you said, that I think falls on Kyle Shanahan and the coaching staff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I already have my own personal views about Kyle Shanahan. I think he sucks as a head coach, but that's just my personal opinion.
I mean, he blows a lot of games.
Yeah, I mean, I won't get into it right now, but I think he's one of the worst second half play calling head coaches of all time. For that, you can go back to when he was the offensive coordinator for the 28-3 Falcons.
Yep.
So I think it really just does come down to coaching at the end of the day, and I feel like he sold pretty big time.
Yep.
I mean, is there not truly, do they not have the most talent on a team?
On paper,
every team in the NFL right now?
They're the best team in the NFL, and it's not really that close.
No, not at all, right?
They got a cost-controlled quarterback and playmakers everywhere.
Obviously, I love Andy Reid, but could you truly imagine the play calling that Andy Reid has with that many weapons? He'd confuse himself because he wouldn't know who was getting the ball.
Another thing that Lee just put in the comments section, he said that except Hardman didn't know the game was over. Okay, so Hardman didn't know the game was over when he scored the game-winning touchdown. So that doesn't really matter that he didn't know, because you already won the game. Like that you're allowed to not know. But you're not allowed to not know the rules before the game's over. And in a very crucial point where everybody should be like, all right, so this is what we're going to do if we get, heads, if we get it. This is what's going to happen if we get tails. They're like, we'll just take it and go score. That's great if it's fucking regular season.
Yep.
That's not going to happen in this game. So Hardman not knowing, that's fine because you already won. You can let them know later. By the way, you just got the game-winning Super Bowl. We're good. But
exactly.
It's so inexcusable to not know the rules. I feel like all those captains should go up to the coin toss with all the knowledge from their coach just now. Say, by the way, remember, these are the rules for this. If we get it, we're gonna defer. Or if they wanted to go score and then get it third, that's fine too. But don't have players say, 2 of them, that they didn't know the rules, because that's just embarrassing.
Mm-hmm. And they talked about wanting to get the ball third, but this just comes down to the Chiefs understanding it more, is that they said they were going to go for 2. So if they went down, tied it, they weren't going to kick the ball back. Mahomes we were going to go. We were going to try to win the game. Mm-hmm. The Chiefs had a complete understanding of what was going on compared to the Niners just being let's here we go. This we score, we win.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a bigger problem with misunderstanding everything. Yeah, that's a huge screw up. But the 4th down and 2 where they decided to kick the field goal and not go for it. wherever they were at, like on the 6-yard line, I think is so bad. And I mean, ultimately, that's what cost them the Super Bowl, is because they had to get a stop after that, and they couldn't. They were on the 2. They're 4th and 2 inside the 6. You've got Debo, you've got Christian McCaffrey, you've got Ayuk, you've got Kittle. You got the fullback whose name I can't say.
I'd go for that too.
Use check.
Use check. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Putting the hands, just kicking a field goal and seeding it. All right, they've got the best. Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL. Let's just give him the ball
at least
back.
go down with a fight. Even if you give it up,
You're on the
even if you don't
4-yard
get it,
line or whatever.
You're on the 4-yard line.
Yeah.
When you kick it off, they're at least going to get to the 20, 25, whatever.
It's to me was such a losing play.
By the way, that's the second time one of you have said this is the reason why San Francisco lost the game. I'm telling you, literally from start to finish. Obviously, the Chiefs won the game, but even as a Chiefs fan and Patrick Mahomes, and we can talk about his last drive for ages, because that was a hell of a drive. 8 for 8.
Masterclass. Yeah.
28 some yards rushing. Like, that was a hell of a drive, and that is why the Chiefs won the Super Bowl in that moment. But everything leading up to that moment is this is why San Francisco lost the game.
Yeah.
This is why San Francisco lost the game. Because that's what they I mean, maybe it comes down to what Keebler said about Shanahan's second half play calling. Like, it came down to the 49ers continually to lose the game for themselves, whether they don't know the rules or they don't go aggressive on 4th and 2 inside their own 10-yard line. They gave Debo Samuel the ball 6 times, 3 rushing attempts, when they gave McCaffrey like 22. The Chiefs know you're going to turn a hand off to McCaffrey, get creative a little bit, you know, and try to do something a little different than, you know, off tackle right. Everybody in the league. Now, usually that works because Christian McCaffrey is a freaking beast. But when you have to give him 22 times when he had 80 yards rushing, that's not going to win you
22 carries for 80 yards. Yeah.
That's not going to win you football games, but they just continued to do it. I just wanted to mention, like, that is why the 49ers kept losing that game.
You brought up a good point, as the 49ers did a really shit job of getting their playmakers the ball. You know, they force-fed McCaffrey 22 carries. He did have 8 receptions for 80 yards and a touchdown, but Ayuk had 3 receptions for 49 yards. Debo, 3 receptions for 33. Kittle held to a whopping 2 catches for 4 yards. Like, they did an absolutely shit job of getting their playmakers the ball in space. They just reverted to handing the ball to McCaffrey. And then the flip side of that is, I thought at the beginning of the third quarter, they weren't handing the ball to McCaffrey enough. They came right out and threw, like, was it 6 straight passes and went just straight out? Like, the play calling was all over the place for the 49ers, and it was really bad in situations where they had a chance to win the game or ice it, and they just couldn't get it done because they couldn't get their dudes the ball.
They're not ready for prime time.
Apparently.
I mean, Christian McCaffrey is phenomenal, and 30 touches is probably what he needs to have. But why is – and I know Jennings threw a touchdown and caught a touchdown, but why is Juwan Jennings catching the ball 4 times? Why is, you know, Kyle Juszczyk and Raymond McLeod and Chris Conley involved?
Chris Conley.
That's not who they are. That's not who the 49ers are.
Why is Kittle only getting 3 targets the entire game and blocking on pass plays?
And 1 called back, his first catch in the first quarter called back.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are hitting it absolutely on the head. And the broadcast kept talking about how good, you know, Kansas City's corners were, et cetera. Like, yes, they're fantastic, but you're paid a lot of money to be creative and find ways to get the ball to them. Kelsey sucked in the first half. He did not suck in the second half. They found a way to get that man the ball. Now, it took him attacking his – bumping his head coach on the sidelines. But they found a way to get the motherfucker the ball, you know?
Of course.
I love how
the Chiefs are, right?
I love how everyone had a problem with what Kelsey did, and then Reed was just like, yeah, he was just telling me to put him back in the game. Like, it's who he is. I didn't have a problem with it. Like, I understand, but everyone on the internet was like bugging out. They were like, "Oh, he should be out of the league." Yeah. And then Reed was like, "Yeah, he didn't do anything wrong." And then Brady was like, "Yeah, it's part of the game."
Reed's like, he caught me off guard. I didn't see him coming. some bullshit. What's that, Nick?
I was gonna say that's because like with the whole Taylor thing, like it makes him look like a scary guy, and like they don't want him to look like a scary guy, and then go smooch up with Taylor Swift. Like he's like, oh, I got scary. Like he would have done that if like in any other situation in life, like he would have done that. He wanted that Super Bowl so bad, and you can tell that's hunger. That's determination. Like you can't take me out of the game right now. Like come on, coach. Like me. Like we have an understanding that I shouldn't be out of this game, and then we fumble, that like I should be in that game to at least block, and then I'm not there, and then we screw up. So I understand. It's just that's heart. That's a Super Bowl, a winning player right there. Yelling at his Super Bowl winning coach that we need to be better right there, and that's totally understandable. I get it. You can't be passive in situations like that because I feel like the losers are usually passive and the winners are usually determined.
It comes down to the
you saw Rice kind of getting after Mahomes a little bit when he was wide open for what would have been the game-winning touchdown at the time. And I think a lot of it is not necessarily it's such an emotional game. First of all, most of the people on the internet have never even played a snap of football, even at peewee level.
Zero.
So they don't even not that any of us understand how emotional it is at an NFL level, but still it's an emotional game, and they want to win so bad. It's not that they're mad he's not mad at Coach Reed. He also probably wasn't trying to bump him. He was probably just going towards him and also didn't realize how close he had gotten to him. But Rice got a little hot. We saw Mahomes get a little hot during the season. It happens, and it's if you're in a losing organization and stuff like that is happening, then it's bad, right? But winning obviously fixes everything. And should have the Chiefs lost on Sunday, maybe that's a huge deal that he did that. But winning fixes everything, and these guys are just competitors. And I don't think there's anything to Kelsey and Reed having any issues by any means. So, I mean, they've had their issues, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's a negative thing.
Yeah, not something I'm worried about at all.
I loved it. I'm just making a real quick point. When the Chiefs were not looking good this season, and they lost to the Raiders at home around Christmas time, and they weren't playing their best football. They lost to the Bills, and there was that big outbreak, and everybody's yelling at each other. The Patriot game, as I mentioned earlier, when everybody's yelling at each other, Patrick's like pissed all the time, like trying to keep it in, but like at some point, blood boils over. I enjoyed that. And I want to hate the Chiefs, but it's hard to, honestly, because I like that they still were able to win the Super Bowl. And it wasn't like everything was perfect. It wasn't like now everything is great all of a sudden. It's not. They're still yelling at each other. They still have problems internally. They're still dropping passes. I saw drop passes. They're still turning the ball over, but they still win the Super Bowl. Like, it's not just like everything's great. He's throwing for 400 yards and no turnovers. Everybody's happy on the sideline. They're not. It's still the same team, but they were able to overcome that. It's not that there was some kind of meeting like after all that happened, now everybody's happy. Like, no, I think that they're just so talented and so, gifted at winning the big games that they're able to do that, withstanding all of those problems. Those problems, like they matter, but they are also able to overcome it. And that's really impressive. It's hard to hate the Chiefs in my mind, even though I want to, because that's just a really impressive trait.
I hate them, but I don't.
After the show, DM me your address. I'll send you some gear, bro.
I hate them, but I do respect them. Like, I respect greatness. Same thing with Brady. I didn't like him, but I respected it. And speaking of lovable losers, we do have our resident Colts fan popping in here, so that's great. Let's get the lovable loser in here. Kev, how are we, buddy?
Oh, I was pretty good. It was off to a good start. How you guys doing? I know how Trevor is. How the rest of you?
Trev's the victory lap is commenced. We're 35 minutes into Trev's victory lap around us.
No, I'm feeling good. I tell you what, if that last pass goes to Travis Kelce instead of me, Cole Hardman, I'm doing a celebratory dance too, because I damn near called that game play by play, except I didn't have a muffed punt in there. But yeah, it was not the super high scoring game, but it was still exciting, if not a little long. But fun way to put a wrap on the season, fellas.
Mm-hmm.
If Pacheco would have scored that last touchdown instead of Hardman, my bank account would have been about $300 happier.
Ooh, oh yeah,
went up a little bit too. Instead
check down.
It was not.
The Monday morning was early.
I'm a firm believer it should be a national holiday. Like
it just kicked me in the face.
Why are we starting the game so late? Is what I want to know. If we're doing it on Sunday, why are we not just starting it a couple hours earlier? It makes no sense.
in the afternoon.
Everybody has to work.
Or have the Super Bowl on a Saturday and then avoid everyone.
I'm good with that too. You get 2 weeks off. You can't just have it on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
Right?
The Saturday night would be sweet.
That's what I'm saying.
I get it. Sunday is for football, but Saturday night, I think viewership would. I mean, viewership for the Super Bowl is already the highest watched TV show, right, in all year. Mm-hmm. But I feel like viewership would skyrocket just through the roof if they did on Saturday night. That would be awesome.
There'd be no worries.
Saturday night would be
right? No worries. At least on Sunday, there's like there's one worry. We have work in the morning. Saturday, you have no worry.
Yep.
We already know it's the most least productive day ever across the nation. Like let's go Saturday NFL. It's fine. Work better for travel plans. For
I wouldn't say you're saying the Monday after Super Bowl is the most least productive day.
Yes.
You might be right, but I would venture to guess Thursday of March Madness and Friday of March Madness.
Ooh, I was going to go January 2nd. That's where I was going to go.
Oh, yeah.
The March Madness. Thursday of March Madness is pretty bad.
That is a good one, too. I just never worked that day. Yeah.
I take it off every year.
It's a religious holiday for me. So.
Yeah. It's usually around St. Patty's Day. Like, this is just, I'm out. Sorry, guys.
We're busy.
Duke winning March Madness finally this year is going to feed families.
That's right.
Right. We got a new Justin Herbert just jumped in the chat.
Who the hell invited this guy? Shouldn't he be doing some kind of off-season program or something?
Tell us how you really feel. Yeah.
At least you got Brian. Who did they hire as the offensive coordinator? Some jamoke.
The Michigan guy, right?
Who?
I thought it was the Michigan guy.
No, it's the offensive coordinator.
Oh,
I don't know who they hired as their offensive coordinator.
I know they're hiring Manuel Acho as a water boy soon. Whenever he gets fired from FS1.
God, he's bad. Was it
Greg Roman? Right? Is that who it was?
There it is, Greg Roman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you guys off of Greg Roman. You shit-faced.
Hey, Justin Herbert, think about it on the bright side. At least you guys didn't promote Mike Kafka to assistant head coach.
What?
Yeah.
Former quarterback?
Did they really do that?
Former quarterback.
Yes, they actually promoted Kafka to assistant head coach.
The Titans interviewed him for their head coaching job, and I was.
Yeah, I wish you guys would have taken him.
No, we got the man. We got Brian Callahan.
He must be great.
Best hire of the offseason. Best hire of the offseason was made by Tennessee.
Kafka was so bad as an offensive coordinator. They said, "Yeah, we'll just make you Dable's assistant."
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Well, is he still the?
Go ahead, Nick.
Is he still the OC, or are they hiring a new OC?
I think they are hiring a new OC.
Maybe
check.
that was the move. Hey, we're paying you a lot of money, but let's get the playbook out of your hands.
Yeah, well, that's fair. They didn't want to fire him.
Giants team. Let me just pull it up. He's the assistant head coach / offensive coordinator.
Yeah, they love him, obviously.
Yeah, but he sucks.
I think this is most fans' feelings right now. Justin Herbert says, I admit Mahomes is deaf to him, but no lie, we ready to knock these boys off their high horse. I think that's literally every single NFL fan right now. Like, respect the greatness, but I'm sick of it.
You know what, Keeb? I'm gonna give you some light at the end of the tunnel. All right. Okay. Leslie Frazier for the Bills was promoted after the 13 seconds game where everybody hated him for doing that. He was promoted to assistant head coach and was still the defensive coordinator. And then he lost his job the season after. So Kafka, maybe this is his last year because that happened with us. So maybe
I really hope so. I just want the play calling back in Dable's hands. That's it.
yeah, I think it is though. But yeah,
Could be coming. So, switching topics, was this yes or no? Only the last play involved. Okay, was that the least dramatic game-winning Super Bowl touchdown you'd ever seen as it played out on TV the way it played out? Because I'm going to say yes. The way he caught it and reacted and the way like the announcers like Romo and them were like, yeah, it looks like they're going to let the clock run out, get to the next overtime. Like, no, I don't think anybody expected him to snap the ball. And then he scores, and like Nick says, he doesn't realize he won the Super Bowl. Like they're like, it was like the most anticlimactic winning touchdown I've ever seen.
yeah. Definitely didn't top the Diggs one, the Minneapolis Miracle. Not at all.
But if you're talking about Super Bowl, this was the first walk-off touchdown.
Is it?
that
I don't
can
know.
remember.
Well, the James White in the 28-3 game.
Yeah, that's true. That would have been, yeah. That would have been pretty dramatic too.
I know a team that almost got one. They were like a yard short or something.
Oh God, who was that back in? Was that 2001?
Who invited this guy? You? Guys, let us suck down here. Listen, can't I just suck? Can we just let me just be terrible in peace down here? We suck. It is what it is, boys. Tennessee is just a shitbag franchise. We had one good season, and we fucking threw 3 interceptions to the Bengals. Like, I can't even be sad down here by myself. I can't even mourn this seat, how bad we are. Nope. Fucking taking haymakers.
Tennessee beat the Chiefs in the playoffs a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Pre-Mahomes.
You remember
because of a bullshit
Mahomes.
roughing the passer when Mariota clearly fumbled it, and they called roughing, and then they called that he was down.
He also threw
later on they
pass
called
to himself for a touchdown.
That was a long time at this point.
He also threw a touchdown pass to himself.
Still salty about it.
And Mahomes wasn't your quarterback, right?
No, well, he wasn't. No, it was
Alex Smith.
But they said that he was his forward momentum, his forward progress had stopped. It was just a sack, like happens.
Oh my God, you're going to complain about a loss 3 Super Bowl wins ago? Like, oh my God, talk about spoiled fucking rotten. Mute yourself. Get out of here.
To answer Lee's
question,
I think it was Shane Bowen.
Yes, it was Shane Bowen. It's a Titans defense coordinator. It's a great fucking hire.
And to answer Justin Herbert, yeah, I could have told you. I knew it, but what are we gonna do? I don't want to talk about it. We'll talk about it on Thursday, though. But congratulations. I'm not sore about it at all. At least we got a large family pack of Twizzlers and a couple of quarters in return. Yeah. Oh, and Doug McDermott. That's right.
Yeah.
Dougie McBuckets.
Yeah, we did get Doug McBuckets.
Oh man.
I got that
college Hall of Famer back in the day.
Oh yeah.
At least it wasn't.
Right. Is he any good anymore?
No.
Shooting the 3, yeah. At anything else, no.
He's like, you remember when Kyle Korver signed with the Cavs?
Yes.
Yeah. Give or take.
I mean, Ray Allen was pretty good. Robert Horry was great at shooting the 3-pointer. He was.
He ain't none of that.
He's not any of that. All right.
Okay, on 2K, Doug McDermott might do some of those things, but I don't know about
Doug McDermott on 2K is sick. Real life.
I wanted to bring us back to the Super Bowl. I wanted to mention real fast. Herbert. You guys kept talking about how Hardman didn't know the rules and he didn't know he won either. Hardman only played 19 snaps the entire game. Yeah. He wasn't supposed to know the rules. He was out there for very particular play calls, and that was
he ran the corn dog play for the win.
It was like, Nicole, you're going to go out there on this exact play. This is all you do. You run this way, and then you run this way, and you turn around and catch the ball.
And you score touchdowns.
And you go on Jimmy.
And then you go on Jimmy Kimmel
Or
Live.
it was Jimmy Kimmel. Sorry. Yeah.
And throw Tommy Townsend under the bus for being the drunkest guy at the after party. Come on. How are you going to treat your punter like that?
You got a call from Jimmy Kimmel. It was like, me? Okay.
Oh man.
I hated how he said, I had media. Don't call it media. Just say you had an interview.
Yeah.
I had media. No.
Nicole.
Shout out to the guard. Did you guys see the news on the Chiefs guard who played the whole game? Did you guys see this?
Yeah, torn UCL.
Who?
Tore his elbow out in the second quarter and played the rest of the Super Bowl. Tore his UCL. Has to have off-season surgery. That is, you want to talk about tough dudes. Like, he's just out there. Can you play, sir? Looks at Reed. Yeah, my elbow's fine. It ain't going to work. We'll deal with it after this game. It's a Super Bowl.
Brock Purdy couldn't do that.
It's the same injury. It absolutely
Hey,
is.
on passes
Completely
longer
different.
than 15 yards, it looked like Brock Purdy's elbow had been separated, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah.
Inside 10 yards, he was good. He had what I like to call a Chad Pennington night, but we'll talk about that later.
Ayuk was open over the middle of the field as always a couple times, but yeah.
Yeah,
Which,
there was a
speaking of,
couple of quick
great
slants
segue.
when Spags brought the house.
And then
He could have hit him. Get the ball out.
Brings us great transition. Kev, way to lead me into that one. 49ers. Favored, win the Super Bowl, up 10, loss. Second time in, is it 4 years or 3 years that they've lost the Super Bowl to the Chiefs. Trevor mentioned it earlier. The question is what do you do now? Where do you go from here? McCaffrey, Ayuk, Samuel, all not out of their prime by any means, not super young either. Took a mega hit on defense when one of their star players, I can't think of his name right now, popped his Achilles running into the game.
Greenlaw, wasn't it? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was bad.
Awful situation. He's now going to miss probably all of next year or, a major chunk.
Wow.
I think it starts
Go
with
ahead,
firing.
Chiefs.
I think it starts with firing Shanahan and then hiring Mike Kafka.
Yes, that's exactly how this goes.
2 birds, 1 stone.
McCaffrey, 27. Ayuk, 25. Debo, 28. So definitely not out of their primes yet. Right there. What steps do these guys have to do to get over the hump? Like 2 3 years they were there, couldn't get it done. Thoughts, causes, concerns, fellas. What do you think? Where do the Niners have to go from here? They're expensive. Trev mentioned a possible salary cap issue too.
I don't think it's personnel. I hardly think it's even coaching. I think they're right there, but they just need that championship mindset that the Chiefs have, that the Patriots had, that the Steelers had and the Cowboys had. I think that they don't have it. I think that they are right there, just like my Bills are right there. Like, what do we need to do? We don't need to do anything. We just need to adopt that championship mindset so that in these big games, the team we're playing isn't the team that has it, the only team that has it on the field, because it seemed like the Chiefs were the team that had it. And the Niners, who are very talented and probably more talented than the Chiefs are, they don't have that championship mindset, and they screw the game up even though they're up, and that happens now twice in the Super Bowl. Kind of proves that it's not coaching. The coaching is great. It's not talent. The talent's great. It's more that, and Patrick said it after the game the next day. He said, it's that championship mindset. We have it. We have that gene. We can tap into it whenever we want. And when we do, we're hard to stop. So I think that's what San Francisco needs. And I think that if they paid Brock Purdy, that's where it starts.
Lee just mentioned it.
Yeah.
They've got Brock Purdy on a cross-controlled contract.
Yeah.
They've got 2 more years of it. I did leave out Kittle. Kittle is 30. Kittle's the oldest of that core.
Yeah.
So
Once that happens and they lose that rookie contract with Purdy, then it gets a little more weird. But until then, I think they could have won the game. It's a mindset thing.
But it's not really 2 more years. With these quarterbacks, you can't wait until they're rookie contracts over, right? And they're not going to have they only get the 5-year option if you take them in the first round. And
Yeah,
Purdy was
they do not
drafted
have
in
that.
the last round. So obviously he doesn't have that 5-year, 5th-year option. So it's really
So they might have
next
1
year's
year of this.
a year. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That might be it. I was looking at Kittle because he's the oldest, 30 years old.
Mhm.
They can't really get rid of him. They cut him before June 1st or traded him before June 1st. The cap hit is still pretty magnificent.
He had 1,000 yards this year. He had a
Not
pretty
as
big
bad. Also, there's guys like I don't know. There's some guys on the back end of their defense. They really got to shore up this defensive backfield because when Charvarius Ward is like your guy, that's not going to cut it. Like that's just not going to. You got to do something in the back end for this defense this year, this offseason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm kind of I agree with Nick for the most part on this one. I think talent wise, I thought about, is it a quarterback problem? As we've seen them lose with Jimmy G and now with Brock Purdy. I don't even know necessarily that it's a quarterback problem because going into the Super Bowl, Purdy was looking pretty good. So this could be, and to speak it in, NBA terms, shout out to our show on Thursday, The Bounce. This kind of, you've had some of those, historically, you had those teams when they were younger, they'd have those significant playoff losses and they had to get over that hill, whether it was Jordan with the Pistons or, there's a bunch of different examples you can go through. So perhaps maybe this one, but the downside to that is, they kind of just had this 2 years ago. So you would have thought the sting from the last one might have been enough, but there are some new faces there, and maybe they will have, like Nick said, a better mindset. Maybe I don't know that there's any big personnel changes that they can make that are going to like, as he said, they're already right there. They're going to be a top 3 team in the NFC next year, as is, regardless of what happens with them in the draft. So, I mean, and I don't know that do you fire a coach because of one bad game? I've been, again, NBA wise, I've been shitting on the Bucks for firing a head coach who had one bad series while a family member died. You can't be too reactionary. These are very important roles. There are only so many good head coaches in the league. Say that again?
The grass isn't always greener, right?
Yeah, 100%. So, yeah, that's my thoughts there.
I agree with you on, like, I don't think they need to fire Kyle Shanahan. While I actually agree with what Keebler said earlier, and, like, his play calling is definitely suspect. Maybe he could make some changes, let somebody else do some of that. We have to remember, like, this team went to the NFC Championship game last year and lost their quarterback to a torn elbow,
right,
and then make the
Or
Super
it might
Bowl
be
this
3
year.
straight. Might be, yeah.
Arguably the best quarterback, in an all-time, maybe one day. Like, right? You can have
this
all those
generation
arguments,
for sure.
but
Better than Troy Aikman at this point, right?
he's the best quarterback in the league right now, and that's what you've lost to, right? You lose to a torn UCL last year, and now to Patrick Mahomes this year. So I think that's where it's hard to say that they're never going to make it, but they only have about a year or two left to really, with all these athletes, like all the talent they have. And Brock Purdy might be it, but nobody wants to say it. Nobody wants to call him a system quarterback anymore or whatnot, but
I'll still say it.
I'll still say it too. Like he's just a better Jimmy Garoppolo. That's what he is.
I think if you take a guy like Justin Herbert and throw him on the 49ers, they're instantly 2 times the team that they are, even with like Purdy, like playing that, like as good as he did during the postseason, I'll give him credit for. But say you throw even a Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert, not a top guy, but like in that range of being like a top 10 quarterback, I think that they do much better.
Agreed.
You got to be able to make the throws. And I don't want to take anything away from the Chiefs defense. They were phenomenal on Sunday. but Purdy doesn't make the throws. There's a reason McCaffrey touched the ball 30 times. Yeah, he's probably one of the best players. He is one of the best players on the field, but why aren't you hitting George Kittle down a seam? Why
It's
aren't you
also a
pushing
reason
ball
the
down
fourth
the field
string
for Brandon
receiver
Ayuk?
has the only touchdown pass of the game.
Yeah.
You got to do a trick play to make it
What?
happen.
Your fourth stringer going to be the MVP. He should not be the MVP. Yeah.
He came out electric at the beginning of the game, Purdy, but after that first quarter, I think they pulled up the stats like halfway, almost all the way through the third, and he didn't do jack after like the first quarter. So
Yeah.
It was the same game Jimmy had. Like he overthrew open guys multiple times. Like it looked oddly like, if you had slapped a number 10 on him, I'd have thought I was watching a replay on some of those plays.
Well, like Garoppolo, at least he took some chances. Purdy didn't really seem to take any chances at all. He was trying to play safe. Like, I don't want to ruin my reputation. Let's just make sure that we get through this game and I'm fine. Like, and nobody hates me. Like, that's not how you're gonna win the Super Bowl, my guy. That's not how you're gonna.
How much of that, though, we've already commented on Shanahan's play calling. How much of that is attributed to what we've all agreed was questionable play calling at best compared to Purdy not taking shots, making throws, etc. What are you guys' thoughts there? Is it more of a Shanahan issue or a Purdy issue there? Because we all already talked about Shanahan being a problem.
I think it's still more of a Purdy issue because you still have those guys that are wide open, but you're not making the read. So it's like Nick said before, you have Ayuk open in the middle of the field multiple times. You have, again, you're targeting Kittle 3 times the whole game, maybe 4 if the one doesn't get called back or whatever. But at the end of the day, it could be bad play calling, but you still have open guys. You could pull the Brady route and throw checkdowns to McCaffrey. You could pull – you can do all these little things, but at the end of the day, it's like he was Mr. Irrelevant for a reason. I'm sorry, but I don't know.
Yeah, I would go the Shanahan route just because, he made Matt Ryan look great. He made Jimmy G look great. He made Brock Purdy look great. But at the end of the day, all 3 lost in the Super Bowl in basically the same way, same fashion. They were all up every time. Matt Ryan is not an MVP type player, but Shanahan made him look that way, and he was an MVP that season.
Oh, dude. Oh, so Shanahan with a lead, bottom 3 coach in the NFL, right?
Yeah.
Dude, lead
Specifically a
Shanahan.
10-point lead in the Super Bowl.
Decent makes him look amazing, and then the amazing turns into what he really is when
he's Marty Schottenheimer.
Yeah,
I figured it out. We got one. We've got our own Marty. I love it.
So there's a trend.
I do agree with Lee, though. With the team that you have constructed, you can't really afford an expensive quarterback.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
But maybe it'd be smarter to go for an expensive quarterback and then go with a little less quality weapons, kind of like the Chiefs are doing.
Yeah.
And I think that would probably result in a little more success because you can put me at quarterback, right? You're not going to do good, plain and simple.
Oh yeah.
You could put a D1 quarterback in there. Again, probably not going to do great, but if you put the weapons down a little bit and then bring up the quality of your quarterback, that's going to be a lot more important because the quarterback is the most important position in football.
This is when you asked if it's a Purdy issue. This was the throw to Deebo Samuel, and I was thinking about this. This is why I went on mute for a minute. I couldn't find it, but when I think is this a Purdy issue or a Shanahan issue? This is a Super Bowl winning throw if you make the throw. He's wide open.
That was one of those overthrows.
Yep. The end zone, right? It's back of the end zone, corner of the end zone. Most quarterbacks that are winning a Super Bowl are going to make that throw. And it doesn't mean he can't be. I think he probably has the talent to be a Super Bowl winning quarterback. But
hey, dude, Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl, baby. Yeah, anybody can do it.
Joe Flacco won. Anybody can win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, Nick Foles.
Nick Foles won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Those are the type of plays that he's not making right now. That 3rd down and 5, Chris Jones was in his face, and Chris Jones lived in his face. I felt like all game long. But again, I think it was Jennings actually. Again, wasn't it on that 3rd and 5 at the end of the 4th quarter? If they convert, all they have to do is run the clock out and kick a field goal and win the game. And he can't make, or that could have been the overtime one, I guess, as well, 3rd and 2. But he doesn't stay in the pocket. He floats back and overthrows it and doesn't even get close to the receiver. It's those big time moments. Brock Purdy had plenty of opportunities and just didn't capitalize yesterday or Sunday.
Right.
I want to change my answer from before. The Niners need to call Tom Brady one more time and say, hey, you had a year off. We know you've been doing all kinds of crazy yoga and eating avocado ice cream. So, let's go, man. One more run. Mahomes is catching you now. Don't you want a little breathing room?
That's right.
You need a little padding on that. Yes, thank you, Sean. Don't forget about Brad Johnson.
Brad Johnson.
Jeff at one point said he's the best coach in the league, considering he's coaching drunk. I don't know who he's talking about, but
he's talking about Shanahan.
Was it Shanahan? Okay, I was like, because that could be Andy Reid. I feel like Andy Reid just gives off drunk vibes, even though I imagine he's just happy on cheeseburgers. But it's all about that D, baby.
Oh my god! The most memeable thing of the Super Bowl. And how about that D? Phrasing.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah. Did you see the Andy Reid clip of him jumping on Chris Jones laying on the ground? I thought it looked like he was going to kiss him. He was on top of him, shaking him and shit. It looked like I thought he was going to just go in for a smooch. Kev, we didn't get a Travis Kelce proposal, though. We didn't get it.
Nah, and now I'm not quite sure if it's coming. My original thought was that, I still need to know when her next album is going to release, because there's going to be a breakup, and it's going to coincide. We got to give her enough time to write the songs. But, like I've said before, she's our Tom Petty, So, you're right, Nick. It's probably already written. I can't imagine she saw him doing that Viva Las Vegas thing and thought, oh yeah, that's the father of my children.
That's what I was
like.
I don't know if you guys saw it, but there was a post game thing where he was mic'd up, and it was just the most scripted interaction that there could be, and he gives her a hug and they kiss or whatever, and he's like, oh, thank you for coming, thank you for your support. It's like me talking to Nick, and he's like, yeah, yo, bro, thanks for coming, thanks for the support.
You're so coming, bro. I love you so much.
Yeah. And it's just
who says that?
It's fake, dude. It's a word.
Thank you for making it halfway across the world to be here.
Who wouldn't say any of that?
All the stupid memes of Taylor coming down to the field and it's her plane in the stands. Or on the field, Jesus.
Was it electric? Oh, it was unbelievable. What the fuck?
I can't believe.
How was your concert? Was it electric?
It was electric. What the hell is going on? WWE.
The Niners were our only hope from an off season of Trevor.
Oh, baby. It's totally worth it, man. You guys, you can learn to love again, and you can love the Chiefs.
No, I'll never love the Chiefs.
No, and I'll never have any respect for Swifties now. Those motherfuckers liked football for 3 months, and they already have a Super Bowl champ. You know how long?
Well, they don't have a Super Bowl.
My grandpa almost died before he got to see the Cubs win the World Series. All right, it is bullshit that these alleged fans get to celebrate a Super Bowl in their first trimester as a fan. It's bullshit.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with Kev here. I ain't got one. I don't have a Super Bowl. Might not ever get one. Or another national championship for the Huskers. I'm gonna die an old bitter
fell
man.
short. It's your life story. 1 yard short.
Yeah, I fucking needed 6 more inches. Life story.
I have 2 against Tom Brady. I'm not really in any room to complain.
That's
Yeah.
true.
You got Eli though. He's the
Oh,
best.
yeah.
Everybody
Whenever
loved the
asks questions,
Giants back then.
exactly.
I think
why
that's what
whoever
was kind of interesting about this Super Bowl is that it kind of felt like most NFC teams, like people who like the NFC, they weren't really thrilled that it was going to be the 49ers beating the Chiefs.
Correct.
Like all the AFC teams are obviously don't want the Chiefs to win,
Yep.
but it didn't feel like that. Whereas like everybody loved the Giants beating the Patriots. This one kind of felt like it was a little bit split.
Yeah, I saved the
Because the
newspaper.
49ers and the history of the 49ers as well, I think probably played into it.
Yes, that did play a decent amount into it.
I remember that. I probably still have it somewhere. The front page of the Toledo Blade with David Tyree pinning that thing up against his hat. Yeah. Everybody was a Giants fan for a day.
That's right.
Yeah, now it's
Toledo
nothing but
Blade.
excruciating pain post 2012.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
And I keep buying
Jackson
into
Hole.
Daniel Jones for fantasy, and it just never works.
This conversation shifted.
2 years ago it was all right, but
This will be his year. I gotta know who Sean Baker likes. How does he hate the Chiefs this much? He must be a Raiders.
Sean's our Raiders guy. Yeah.
I was like, he
yeah.
must be a Raiders fan.
That's probably
How does it
also why
feel,
he hated
Sean?
the Viva Las Vegas thing.
Real question. Since you hate the Chiefs so much, how does it feel that the Chiefs have a playoff win in Las Vegas before Las Vegas has a playoff game win in Las Vegas?
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say he's probably a Raiders, Broncos, or Chargers fan.
Definitely Raiders fan. Oh yeah.
The Broncos don't really hate the Chiefs like that because they've gotten their Super Bowl recently, right? They got their Peyton Manning Super Bowl. It's
Yeah.
the Raiders. The Raiders have the real hate. But I mean, I think the Raiders kind of hate everyone, honestly. It's like the personality.
It's like the Patriots don't really hate the Bills, like they don't really, but like the Dolphins really do because like the Patriots are like, no, like let them have their fun, like that's fine. It's the same thing. Like Broncos fans are like, yeah, I mean, like we kind of owned them, but they can own us now. It's like, but the Raiders, like they got nothing, man.
The Raiders just hate everything.
That's how the whole AFC South treats the Jags until they had, once every 5 years they get a little bit, and then they're just unendurable. They're just ridiculous. But the rest of the decade, they don't exist. You don't ever hear from them. So one year out of 10, they're good, and all of a sudden, Twitter's on fire. But yeah, for the most part, it's like, oh, who cares about the Jags? They're not a rival.
Is there a real hated team in the AFC South? Like, I just feel like they're
fucking hate.
They're all just. They're just four. Just
everybody hates their stepdad.
Teams.
No, there is one. There's one
hated team in the AFC South.
There's one true rivalry between teams in the South. The Titans and the Colts hate each other because it's driving distance. Like they do not like each other. But the Texans being in the playoffs this year, it's like, oh, all right, cool. Like that sucks that CJ Stroud's in this division. That's not really fun, but he's kind of cool, so whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Kev's right. The last time we talked about the Jags before them beating Josh Dobbs to make the playoffs last year was when they had the half gold helmets and everybody made fun of them.
Yeah, dude. It's just like, tell me when Fred Taylor and Jimmy Smith come back, and until then, I don't care.
I just remember our division predictions when I was like, yeah, Colts and Texans are going to be fighting for the bottom of the division. that didn't happen.
Whoopsies.
Hey, yeah, everybody slept on that Pro Bowl quarterback Gardner Minshew. I know a little bit of a tangent here, but as a Colts fan, the Pro Bowl means nothing anymore. It means absolutely zero. If Uncle Rico got named to the Pro Bowl, sorry, Colts fans are going to kill me for that one, but it's true. It's damn true.
I don't understand why they do it in the middle of the season like the NBA though.
If they're just going to do flag football, fine. Yeah.
You know what I mean? If they're going to just do a little passing precision in flag, then just do it in the middle of the season because at the end, these players don't care. Their season's over. They want
to go on vacation.
Our game. The NBA All-Star games come.
Players are having fun though.
It's a big honor to be there, but like the Pro Bowl is not an honor because every other player is like, nah, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. So now Gardner Minshew's here. Like damn near Joe Flacco is probably almost named to it. Like if you're only gonna do precision passing in these little drill games, Just do it in the middle of the season, and then at least these players are there and they're excited because like their season's not over. They still, I don't know.
And that probably helps the league too, because then you force everybody gets 2 bye weeks throughout the season, so you extend the regular season, and then teams that actually need a week to get a little bit healthier. That sounds a lot better. I'm fine with you still taking an extra week between the AFC and the championship games and the Super Bowl. I'm fine with just having nothing there for that weekend. Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
I would like them to take it another week further, so that way it's President's Day after
President's Day. I was just going to say the same thing. Like, yes, add something in somewhere where we back this up one more week, so it's President's Day, and then we get the Monday off.
Oh, now we're cooking.
Give the people what they want.
Someone tag Roger Goodell in the comments and let him know your thoughts.
There's not one person in the universe that would be mad about that. Nobody. Not a fucking soul.
No one would be mad about that.
No. It's needed.
Lee. It has been a long 2 days.
The Pro Bowl.
Yeah, geez, Trev, you gonna call you out like that, man? Like, sheesh.
Dang, bro.
Tomorrow's parade day. We still got a whole day to celebrate tomorrow. Nobody has to work. We're gonna have a dang good time.
Like my favorite thing about Chiefs fans, they're real fucking humble, let me tell you. Really win with grace over there.
I don't even know where I'm going to put my flag at. I'm going to have to expand my wall a little bit, maybe. I don't know.
Back the camera up more so you can
shout out Nate.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe I'll have to buy a bigger office space or something for all these championships.
Is Aaron Rodgers a lock for comeback player of the year next year?
Probably.
Yes. Okay. Because he just has to have a decent season and he'll be comeback.
Unless it's Daniel Jones, but I doubt it.
Unless somebody calls Joe Flacco in week 7.
It could also be Joe
Tom Brady.
Yeah, there we go. It's gonna be Tom Brady in San Francisco, dude. Comeback player of the year and MVP. That was the whole reason he did this. He's like, what's an award I haven't won yet? Oh, the comeback. Oh, wait, no, he probably did win that one because of the Matt Castle year.
Oh, he probably did because he tore his ACL.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, damn it. What didn't he do? He's still coming back.
Matt Castle is the worst.
Oh yeah, sorry, that one cuts deep, doesn't it?
Chiefs. Let's be honest. After all those wins, it was really the idea of I'm going to tear my ACL so the Chiefs take this Matt Castle guy off my hands.
Oh, he's like next to Kevin Kolb in the Hall of Fame of like. And what was it, Matt Flynn, of guys who played, backups who got the bag, and then it was like, what in the hell just happened? Brock Osweiler?
Osweiler, yep.
Oh, you gotta love when it's bonus time.
At least Jimmy G was somewhat competent, but he was nearly that same range as Matt Castle was.
We asked if you are. We discussed this earlier. I think you missed it. Trev says,
"Yeah, I don't think we're going this year. Went last year. It was a good time. Unless it's going to be the exact same this year, unless I go to a different area. The parade is about 90 minutes long. I mean, it's a long ass parade. So there's obviously like miles worth of different places you can go. And the closer to the end of the parade, the more people there are. And I'm not trying to take an 8-year-old to deal with.
You should have camped out tonight.
People, so. Yeah,
2,000 of your favorite people.
No, I think it's like 50,000. I think there's.
It is. You said 2, but
yeah, there's like 50,000.
Or maybe I made
so
that up. I'm not really
right
sure.
back there where the NFL draft just was. So it's a nice place.
I had to take a legit train out of there last year to get out of Kansas City.
I would too,
Sean,
dude, as fast as I could.
Have you guys ever had a parade in Raiders Nation?
God damn it. Everyone gets food poisoning at those things.
It's not safe.
Oh, that's good, man. I can't wait. One day, hopefully for the season preview, hopefully we can get Sean on here with you. That'll be great.
Yeah. We can talk about all the Raiders Super Bowl wins.
Accolades there.
Is there anywhere Oh, wait, what were you saying? Sorry.
I was going to say I can talk to him about losing in the Super Bowl. except I didn't lose to my former coach.
Is there any way I can bet on Taylor Swift making an appearance at the parade?
So we talked about that a little bit here in Kansas City over the last couple of days. Everybody thinks that she's not going to make it. Apparently there's a lot of conspiracy theorists out there. I truly guess I don't realize like the media around this person, because apparently it's not safe. They don't think it's safe for her to make an appearance. I have no idea. I'm like, why wouldn't it be safe? Everybody else is in the parade. Why wouldn't it be safe for her? But I guess the amount of followers that she has, and then she just had somebody stalking her plane or something. I don't know.
No, that's just people. It's the same guy that pissed off Elon. I think there are Twitter accounts that like to post people who own private jets, and they will track it or whatever and post about it. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still weird. I'm not saying it's not weird, but
I don't follow that stuff enough. I didn't think I was really confused when people were like, it might be too dangerous for her to go. Why?
I would hope not. I mean, that's pathetic, in my opinion. In my humble opinion, if you're so upset about her, what was it, 54 seconds of screen time on the Super Bowl? I think it's a hilarious meme. I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist in the sense that I think the whole relationship's a work. I don't think it's real. I think it's making a lot of people a lot of money. But to be one of these nuts that would actually what? Why would she be in danger? That's weird. People are weird,
Who
man.
knows? Yeah.
Get off the internet. Go outside.
Is she in danger?
Don't go to the parade.
Then why is anybody? That makes no sense.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if she'll be there or not.
That's crazy, dude.
Maybe that's where Kelsey
where's she supposed to be on? Oh yeah.
I mean, she might just not be there because she's afraid Travis Kelce's going to sing again. That might be where the danger is.
Hey, listen, you got to fight for your right to party. You know what I'm saying?
Damn straight. He'll be slamming some beers, screaming that all day tomorrow.
Oh my God.
That's the other thing that's hilarious about these parades. And, Sean, one day you might actually, well, highly unlikely you'll ever have to deal with this, but, people complain about that these athletes, all of our kids are looking up to these athletes and they're drinking beer. Okay. I also drink beer in front of my 8-year-old. It doesn't change anything. A kid's not going to look up there and be like, oh my God, Patrick Mahomes just chugged a beer. What do I do? That's not how kids think. That's not how kids react. But there's been a lot of that last year, and then already talking about this year of it's the extremists, but it's always so funny to hear people talking things like that. These are athletes. Kids look up to these guys. Why are they on those double-decker buses chugging beers?
Because they won the Super Bowl.
Because they won the Super Bowl, man.
Because they're not kids, man. Because they're adults who are allowed to drink.
Yeah,
and they aren't driving later.
Freaking robots, y'all.
It's your job to parent, not fucking Travis Kelce's. All right.
You say
do your job, bub.
Yeah.
It's not even Patrick Mahomes.
Go do your job.
Somebody to do it.
Son, if you win the Super Bowl, you can have a beer too.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you say. You say, hey, you want
to get yourself a beer, bud.
You want to be a
get yourself a beer if you win the Super Bowl.
Champion, go work real hard for the next 20 years, and you too can have a beer in front of a million people.
Celebrate however you want.
You don't have a beer because he had one. You have a beer if you do what he did. That's right.
Yeah. Until then, zero beers for you. That's what you do. You turn around, you turn it into a motivator, and you make it a win, right? You say, yeah, you can have your first beer when you win a Super Bowl. And boom.
Change their life.
You got a sober kid your whole life. You just made a winner.
You go win that 9U baseball tournament this summer. Then we'll have a talk about this.
Knowing Trav, his kids would win it, and he'd be like, oh, fuck.
My dad told me I can't have a beer because I didn't win the Super Bowl.
I'm a failure.
I struck out.
That's good.
Oh man, I love it. I'm just like, people are extremely crazy sometimes.
Yes.
They're wild. Yes, Lee. They almost threw that thing right into the ocean. It's one of the funnier things you'll ever see.
Yeah, drunk Tom Brady is
That was good.
entertaining
That was
every
fun.
time.
They didn't really care. They were like, whatever. I guess we won another one. Like,
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what Mahomes and Kelsey are going
just
to
throw this one. This is an
Which
NFC.
one's this?
Did you all bet on Gronk to miss the field goal again?
No, I took him to win it. Gosh, dang it.
I didn't bet it either. That is a money scheme.
No, it's not a bet. It's you click to you get
I
entered in the
know,
free
but
bet.
you get like a $5 credit or whatever.
Better than zero.
That's how
I
it
didn't
gets
get
you
in.
in. They bring you in with that free Gronk kick, and next thing you know, you're homeless.
I was Gronk.
Next thing you know, you're betting Korean basketball at 3 a.m.
Your kids are going to the community college.
You're
Can't
screaming
afford
at
the
a
4-year anymore.
at a Maine freaking Belmont game, and you're screaming at your phone.
Yeah, no, you're yelling at Bangladesh cricket players for not scoring more runs than New
Mhm.
Zealand.
That is degenerate. That is
Degen.
Just
degenerate.
clarifying, none of these stories are from real experience.
A friend of a friend. A friend of a friend.
Oh, fellas, we've been at it for dang near an hour and 20 minutes. We got any final words? Trev, I'm going to open this up. You're the real winner here. We're all just a bunch of lovable losers. Any final
You
words?
can call me the real winner, but I wasn't the only one that said the Chiefs are going to win last week. So
Keebler did also say it. So
Keebler and Kev
wasn't
also
me.
said the Chiefs are going to win.
Was not
They know who the best team in the NFL is. Super excited for the offseason, as always.
I'm not saying all that. The Giants are still.
Well, you knew who was going to win the Super Bowl. Can't bet against Patrick Mahomes. 8 for 8, 28 yards rushing. The greatest, maybe, I would say, Super Bowl drive to end the game. David Tyree's catch will be in there as well. But in overtime, down by 3 points, the first time ever a drive that happens while losing in overtime in a play or in the Super Bowl. So give it to Patrick Mahomes. He's definitely going to keep carrying this team as far as he can. I'm going to go celebrate all day tomorrow. And can't wait for the offseason with you all and talking Chiefs and obviously all the other NFL teams and just start to dive in. Draft season right around the corner. Roma Duze is not a choice for the Chiefs anymore, unfortunately, because I would have loved to see him in the red and gold. But we're going to have to go ahead and kick that to the curb because no way is he going to fall that far down. And I don't think the Chiefs are going to make a move up high enough to get a guy like that. But we'll see how the draft ends up. A couple months away. Looking forward to it. And go Chiefs, baby. Go Chiefs.
It was funny because the over-under on the Super Bowl was 47.5, and because of the overtime rule where you don't kick an extra point on the game-winning touchdown, it ended up being 47. So I had a lot of people in shambles.
That's crazy.
Not myself.
What
I
a
don't bet.
Vegas line.
I don't bet over-under. That's one thing I stay away from. But
You never bet an under.
It's like that.
You can always hit an over.
oh no, I bet Sabonis and Fox points unders. That's been hitting for me recently.
Oh, ouch.
Just not team over unders.
Yeah, exactly.
Sean, we appreciate you coming through. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
brother.
you
Appreciate
to
you, man.
everybody else. Lee out there, Sean. I saw Nate. Jeff was in there early. Justin Herbert. Scrolling back through this, I think that's everybody that was commenting. All the people that have stuck with us for an hour and a half here. So begins our. I guess so. This technically wraps up our 2024 NFL coverage. That's it, folks. We did it.
That's all, folks.
That's all, folks.
Does anyone know when free agency starts?
I don't know tomorrow.
Hopefully soon. The Titans have $75 million to spend, and sadly, it will
Usually
not
like
be on
the
Tuesday.
second week of March, right? Like around March 10.
That seems like a while compared to other sports.
Yeah, because that's when the new
It's not
NFL
New-
season starts.
Sean says March 13th.
Key, we'll be on our cruise.
Oh yeah.
New York's finest going on a cruise together.
Or Nick, if my boy and I do pretty well on this book, then maybe we'll take a nice little trip to Vegas instead.
Oh,
Hey, there you go.
Yep. be on the lookout for a lot of NFL coverage coming. I know John and I can't, who was
John and Josh just
John
did
and
a
Josh.
mock
I was like,
draft.
it's not
Yep.
John and John. Did a mock draft already last night. They were in there. I know we've got some team stuff coming out. There is a bunch of stuff coming. Nick had to get out of here, it looks like, and go to bed. He's got a train to catch.
He's got to get up at like 5:30 tomorrow. So
Yeah, he's got
Don't
to
blame
go.
him.
He's a real trooper. So yeah, ton of stuff in the pipeline. Don't forget to catch me, Kev, Keebler every Thursday. You can transfer over from this to Thursdays on the Bounce Talking NBA. We're going to be talking about how Wembanyama is going to be the first player ever to have a quadruple double with blocks, turnovers, assists, rebounds, and points. He had 11 blocks last night. I think it was 11, at least 10.
he was like what 4 assists away from a quadruple double without the turnovers.
Yep.
Nuts.
Oh, it's coming. He's gonna do it. So we'll talk him up.
I took his defensive player of the year at plus 6,000 a couple weeks ago.
It's not a horrible bet. Not a horrible bet.
It's like plus
Gobert is playing like a
3,500 now,
maniac.
so
It's not out
getting
of the realm.
closer.
Gobert's the odds-on favorite. He's playing like a monster defensively, but it's not out of the realm of possibilities. Again, thank you, fellas, for joining me. Trev, one last time. Congratulations. I fucking hate the Chiefs, but congratulations. I'm glad you're happy. I will not.
Of course I'm
buying
happy.
you dinner.
Of course I'm happy. One last time for the people.
We'll see you next year.